Hello, everybody, and welcome back to this week's Thought of the Week, where we continue looking at our inspirational people that we find inspiring and people that have made a difference, not just to us, but also to many people around the world. In case you're just joining us for the first time, I'm Rachel, and this is Hayley from NISCU. Hayley, who are we meeting today?
We are going to meet a lady called Florence Nightingale.
Florence Nightingale.
But before I tell you who she is, I've got a game to play.
Brilliant. Let's play a game.
So, can you name these job titles?
I don't know, but we'll have a go.
So, what is somebody called who makes maps? And this is somebody's actual job.
I have absolutely no idea.
See, I'd have said a map maker or something. I mean, can you imagine being asked, what is it that you do for a living? Oh, I'm a map maker.
Yeah, I have absolutely no idea. I want to say a cartographer or something like that, but I don't know. Oh!
You're right. Well done.
I don't quite know where that came from, but we'll go with that. A map maker is a lot more descriptive. We know what that is, don't we?
We do.
Oh, someone who makes men's clothes is a tailor. I know that one. A tailor.
Years and years ago, they used to be called a haberdashery. There used to be a difference between men's clothes and women's clothes. And a tailor is somebody who made clothes or altered clothes. I thought that was quite interesting when I learned that.
Yeah, definitely. But I knew that one.
You did? Someone
who keeps bees. A beekeeper?
Surprisingly not.
I would automatically call somebody a beekeeper. I have absolutely not the first clue if it's not a beekeeper. Apiculturist.
Apiculturist. Now, see, this comes from I think it's the Greek word or the Latin for bee, which is apia.
Okay.
Yeah. Just some random knowledge for you.
I would never have guessed that in a billion years. Someone who makes cheese. A cheesemaker.
That's what I would have called it too, but it's not a cheesemaker.
I don't know, Hayley. Tell me. Fromage. Is that from a French root? Fromage is French for cheese.
You would think so. However, it actually dates back to the ancient Egyptians.
Oh, okay. Goes back even further than that.
But it is where the French word comes from, as it passes along that way.
There you go.
So today, Florence Nightingale. I mean, Florence Nightingale, we hear about Florence Nightingale quite a lot. I mean, you've got the Nightingale hospitals that was built during COVID times. Yeah, all named after Florence Nightingale. She was quite special. I mean, at 17, God gave her a dream that she was going to be a nurse. That's all he told her. But it wasn't till she was 24, so that's 7 years later, that she told her parents and went, I think I need to be a nurse. Can you imagine that? Because Florence Nightingale was born into a household that was quite strict and well-to-do. Women of her time would not have been taught things like Latin or maths or science at all. But Florence was quite lucky. because her dad taught her everything that she needed to know. And Florence was really intelligent. She became an amazing mathematician. She became somebody who made it easy to weigh out medicines and make sure the right dose was given. Yeah, even in a war situation where you're treating soldiers. But when she went into the hospitals and she started her training, because she studied in Germany and she had to wait quite a long time between the dream of becoming a nurse at 17, yeah, and she was 31 before she started studying in Germany. And she became this nurse. But while she was training, she absolutely hated that hospitals were dirty places. They weren't clean like we see today. They were nothing like what we imagine them to be today. And the nurses actually weren't very nice to people. They didn't care for people in the same way as nurses do today. They were quite abrupt and very much, you must do this or you won't get better. But there wasn't any choice. There wasn't any nice way of speaking to people. And Florence decided she was going to change that. And her whole life's mission became to change the way nurses were seen. It's quite unusual that she was a woman, because the job of nurses was actually done by men. And she revolutionized that whole view of women nurses. And today its majority are women. It's quite rare to come across a male nurse in a lot of places. But one of the things that she did is she went into the war zones, and she was caring for soldiers that had been hurt during wars. She did this for a few wars, but one was the Crimean War, and she left England, where she was nursing, to go to the war zone to care for soldiers. And she became known as the Lady of the Lamp. She was working even when other people went to bed, because you can imagine it, can't you? Everybody needs some sleep. But they didn't do nursing overnight. Not like today. I don't know if you've ever been in hospital or you know people who have, but when I was in hospital with my children, there would be somebody coming in and checking on them, making sure their temperature's right. With my daughter, it was her oxygen levels were okay. And just generally checking that they were okay, making sure there's nothing that they needed and making sure that they were actually still asleep. And there are nurses that work the night shift to do that job. But there weren't back then. And Florence took it upon herself to say, well, actually, we need people to work around the clock. And she became known as the Lady of the Lamp because she used to take a little lamp, and it was like a little gaslit lamp or a candle, yeah, and take it to the soldiers so that she could see what was going on. And she would check on them before she went back to her bed. And she became a teacher of nursing. And there are so many different hospitals and places that you can train to be nurses that are modelled on Florence Nightingale's whole ethos. And it started with a dream from God when she was just 17 years old. And the legacy that she has left is even the Nightingale hospitals built now, or just last year, are named after her.
Amazing.
What an amazing thought. But there's a bit of a challenge in that as well. Do we find things difficult? I know I do. Do we feel like giving up? I feel like that a lot. If something is really difficult, I feel like either giving up or throwing something and going, I just can't do it. Yeah. But how do we keep going? What is it that makes us keep going? And how can we help others through that? When you take that and you look at Florence Nightingale's life, just a little bit that we've shared today, because there's so much more in it. Yeah. And we think about these things. Do we find things difficult? Do we feel like giving up? What are we going to do about that, and how can we help others? What do you think, Rachel?
I think that's quite a challenge, isn't it? I think the thing that has struck me most from what you've said is how Florence would patrol the wards at night. And I guess that reminds me that God never sleeps. Florence needed sleep because she was human, but how she was there if they needed her in the middle of the night. And I think that, for me, reminds me that God is always there for us, like God was always there for Florence and for those people that she was nursing. And I'm not sure that I would have sacrificed my sleep, because I quite like my sleep. But I find it quite inspirational that she was willing to give up her sleep to be there for people when they needed her. And that reminds me of how God is always there when we need him.
Can you imagine how difficult it must have been to speak out about how dirty the hospitals were, and how nurses really needed to talk to people in other ways and treat them with kindness rather than just as somebody doing their job?
Amazing. That's quite a challenge, isn't it? Do you think we need to say a prayer to see if we can ask God to help us?
I think so.
Yeah. I'm going to say a prayer. If you agree with my prayer at the end, just say amen, which just means I agree. If not, just say quiet, but let's pray. Heavenly Father, thank you for Florence Nightingale and the dream that she had, that she could make a real difference in helping people get better. Thank you for the courage that she had to stand up to people who didn't think she should do it. And thank you for the difference that she made in nursing reform, in making hospitals cleaner and safer and kinder places for those that needed that help when they were poorly and in their hour of need. Thank you that Florence was with them during the day and during the night when they needed her. But help us to remember that you are with us always, and that we can always come to you. Amen.
Amen.
And come back next week for the final installment of Inspirational People, what's inspired them and the difference that they've made.